The grid doesn't fail loudly. There's no explosion, no warning tone, no cinematic collapse. It just stops. Light disappears. Sound thins. Machines hesitate and then give up. The city exhales and doesn't inhale again. In the first seconds, nothing looks dangerous. That's the trap. People freeze because their brains are waiting for confirmation. A flicker, a reboot, a signal that says this is temporary. It almost never is. What fails first isn't power. It's coordination. Elevators pause mid-thought. Doors lock in the wrong position. Traffic lights vanish and intersections revert to eye contact and aggression. Phones still glow, but the networks behind them begin to choke as millions of identical actions hit fragile systems at once. Humans hate uncertainty more than darkness. In those first minutes, people move toward anything that feels structured. Stores, authority, crowds, vehicles. Not because it's logical, because it feels familiar. Familiarity is comforting, right up until it becomes lethal. The grid was doing invisible labor. Synchronizing behavior. Regulating flow. When it goes silent, people don't spread out. They compress. Every shared decision stacks pressure in the same places. Pressure creates friction. Friction creates conflict. The first 30 minutes are not about survival skills. They are about position. Where you are standing when the systems stop defines what problems arrive at your feet. Stay in a place that depends on electricity to remain safe, and the countdown has already started. Most people don't fail because they panic. They fail because they wait. Drop your city in the comments. I want to see where the survivors are watching from. And hit subscribe while you're here. Crowds don't announce themselves. They assemble quietly, one person at a time, pulled together by the same assumption. Someone will fix this. In the first 10 minutes, people check phones, glance around, laugh it off. In the next 10, movement begins. Subtle at first. Toward exits. Toward stores. Toward cars. Every individual choice feels reasonable. Together, they create density. Density changes behavior. Personal space collapses. Courtesy thins. Voices rise not from anger, but from the need to be heard over growing noise. Sound travels differently when electricity dies. Footsteps get louder, arguments echo longer, and silence feels hostile. This is where most people lose the advantage they didn't know they had. They stay where everyone else is gathering. Offices, retail spaces, transit hubs. Places designed for throughput, not for stagnation. When flow stops, these environments turn predatory. You don't need violence for danger to exist. You need bottleneck, narrow exits, conflicting expectations, a single stalled decision that forces others to wait. Waiting breeds entitlement. Entitlement breeds confrontation. Meanwhile, the systems people trust most begin to decay. ATMs stop responding. Digital locks fail closed. Security protocols lag behind reality. Authority becomes slow, then absent, then irrelevant. The mistake isn't fear. The mistake is convergence. Survivors don't win by being stronger or smarter. They win by not being present when pressure peaks. By the time the crowd realizes something is wrong, the exits are already contested. The grid failed quietly. The crowd never does. By minute 20, the city feels different. Not chaotic. Tight. Engines idle longer than they should. Intersections hesitate. Horns appear. People who committed to movement realize too late that movement has a cost. Fuel, energy, exposure, attention. Cars become anchors. Once traffic stalls, you inherit everyone else's decision. You can't turn around without space. You can't abandon the vehicle without being seen. Roads that once meant escape now funnel desperation in predictable lines. Walking isn't safer if you're walking where everyone else is. Sidewalks mirror roads. People cluster around stores, stations, and visible landmarks. The human mind follows edges and light. Darkness pushes bodies together. This is the moment when the first quiet decisions pay off. The people who stepped sideways instead of forward. Who moved away from noise, not toward it. Who chose distance over speed. Movement feels productive. It isn't. In the first 30 minutes, stability beats progress. Every unnecessary step burns calories you can't replace easily. Every visible choice makes you memorable. Every pattern you establish can be learned. The grid's absence reveals something uncomfortable. Survival isn't heroic. It's discreet. It rewards those who reduce friction, not those who chase solutions. The city doesn't collapse all at once. It tightens like a fist. And the people caught in the center feel it first. After 30 minutes, the damage isn't physical yet. It's structural. People have chosen directions, alliances, and assumptions. Those choices begin to harden. Someone committed to the road can't easily turn back. Someone waiting in a store believes leaving now would make the wait meaningless. Sunk cost takes over. Pride steps in quietly and tells people to stay the course. This is where bad decisions stop being mistakes and start becoming traps. The grid didn't just power lights. It coordinated forgiveness. It allowed people to be wrong without consequences. When it fails, the environment stops absorbing errors. Every choice echoes longer. Every delay compounds. You can feel it in the air. Conversations shorten. Humor evaporates. Eyes stop wandering and start measuring. People aren't looking for help anymore. They're assessing competition. Who looks prepared? Who looks weak? Who looks lost? This is also when rumors accelerate. Not information, stories. Someone heard power is back in another part of town. Someone knows a store that's still open. Someone swears the outage is limited. These stories spread because people need justification for staying where they are. Meanwhile, quiet places grow quieter. The absence of noise becomes protective. No one wanders into silence by accident. Silence requires intent. The worst thing you can do at this stage is announce yourself through activity, arguing, demanding answers, trying to force solutions. Attention becomes heat, and heat attracts hands. Survival in this window isn't about doing more. It's about locking fewer doors behind you. The people who survive longest are the ones whose decisions still have exits. By the 1 hour mark, energy is no longer abstract. You can see it leaving people. Voices strain. Movements sharpen. Small tasks feel heavier than they should. The human body wasn't designed to negotiate constantly, and negotiation is all collapse offers. Every interaction costs calories. Every watchful glance taxes the nervous system. This is when the city starts sorting itself. Some people burn everything immediately. Running, arguing, hauling, fixing. They look productive. They are not. They are converting energy into visibility. Visibility into vulnerability. Others slow down. They sit. They listen. They stop trying to win the moment and start trying to survive the hour. These people don't look heroic. They look boring. Boredom is efficient. The grid once flattened effort. It made heavy work invisible. Without it, gravity returns. Distance matters. Elevation matters. Temperature matters. So does exhaustion. Places that require constant movement begin to reject people. Long corridors. Open intersections. Bright spaces that demand attention. The city quietly pushes survivors toward edges, shadows, and frictionless routines. This is also when patterns form. Someone who checks the same door every 10 minutes. Someone who paces. Someone who guards nothing in particular. Patterns are readable. Readable patterns invite interruption. The smartest energy move is restraint. Fewer steps, fewer words, fewer decisions. You don't need to be invisible, just uninteresting. The grid rewarded activity. Collapse rewards efficiency. After the first 90 minutes, the window narrows. Not because the danger spikes, but because flexibility disappears. Crowds have claimed spaces. Roads have fossilized into lines of abandoned intent. Authority has either withdrawn or hardened. People who waited too long now move in worse conditions, with fewer options and under more scrutiny. This is where hindsight becomes lethal. Everyone now understands something is wrong. But understanding arrives late, when correction costs too much. Leaving feels riskier than staying, even when staying is worse. That's how traps keep people inside them. Not with force, but with doubt. The survivors at this point aren't lucky. They're early. They moved before consensus formed, before narratives calcified, before the city chose its new shape. What remains is not chaos. It's a new order built from scarcity and habit. The first 30 minutes didn't decide everything because they were dramatic. They decided everything because they were quiet. Decisions made without witnesses are the only ones you can undo. Once the crowd notices you, your options shrink. Once you're tired, your judgments slip. Once you're committed publicly, retreat becomes shame. The grid's failure exposed a simple truth. Survival favors those who act before certainty arrives. Not faster, earlier.